both of these are real. One side, a mountain of waste. The other, a clean, modern solution powered by that very waste. This isn't science fiction. It's happening today. From Copenhagen's dredged to energy power plant to roads in the Netherlands built with plastic waste. It's all part of something called the circular economy. And in this video, we'll break it down simply, show you how it works and why it might just be the future that we need. Let's rethink waste, value and the world we are building. In this world, we are used to one simple concept. Things go in one direction. We take, we make, we waste. That's called a linear economy. It's efficient, but only in the short term. Because in the long run, we are burning through resources, piling up waste and leaving future generations to take up the bill. A circular economy flips that script. It designs waste out of the system from the start, keeps resources in use for as long as possible, and regenerates what we take from nature. It's about rethinking entire systems, how we build, eat, travel and manufacture, so that everything has value beyond its first use. Circular thinking shows up in architecture that adapts to available materials, cities turning food scraps into compost, even companies designing products to be taken apart and reused. It's more than recycling. It's an economic model built for the long term. Regenerative, local, resilient. A loop, not a line. The system we rely on today is mostly linear. We take resources from the earth, we make products, and then we throw them away. Take, make, waste. It was designed for simplicity and speed, not sustainability. But that simplicity, it comes at a cost. Every year we extract over 100 billion tons of materials, and more than 90% of that never gets reused. Food wastes pile up while people go hungry. E-waste is dumped across the globe, leaching toxins into water and soils. And still, we keep making more. The truth is, the linear economy worked for a while, but now we are hitting planetary limits. Climate emissions, depletion and pollution aren't side effects, they are a design flaw. And here's the kicker, less than 10% of what we use gets cycled back in use. That means 90% becomes waste, emissions or loss. That's not just unsustainable, it's deeply inefficient. And in a world of growing demand, we simply can't afford to keep wasting value. So what's the alternative? Let me show you what it looks like when waste becomes part of the solution. Not long ago, most of Copenhagen's waste went into landfills or old-school incinerators. But when the city set a goal to be carbon neutral by 2025, that linear system had to change. Enter Amager Bakke, also known as Copenhagen, a waste-to-energy plant that feels more like a community park than a piece of infrastructure. Here, non-recyclable waste is transformed into energy, providing heat to 150,000 homes and electricity to thousands more. But it's not a free pass to burn everything. This plant is just one part of a broader circular system, where materials are reused, recycled, and only the leftovers end up here. Copenhagen doesn't see Amager Bakke as an endpoint. It's part of a city-wide strategy. Waste is sorted with precision. Organics go to biogas, recyclables get reprocessed, and only the non-reusable stuff ends up here. By converting waste to clean district heat, Copenhagen reduces its reliance on fossil fuels, helping homes stay warm even during energy stress caused by climate shifts. It's circular thinking, with a climate adaptive payoff. It's not just about making energy, it's about designing our future systems with sustainability at its core. And by opening it to the public, adding trails, a bar, and even a ski slope, Copenhagen is sending a bold message. Sustainability can be part of everyday life. It's beautiful, functional, and integrated. Waste isn't hidden, it's reimagined. Imagine if your local dump was also your favorite weekend hangout. But circular innovation doesn't stop at buildings. What if the roads you walk on were made from recycled plastic? When we think of roads, we picture asphalt, heavy, durable, and well, conventional. But in the Netherlands, a game-changing approach is starting to take shape. Meet PlasticRoad, a revolutionary concept that's replacing concrete and asphalt with recycled plastic. The road panels are made from 100% recycled plastic, not only repurposing waste, but also creating a durable, lightweight alternative that's easy to install and maintain. But before we get carried away, let's be honest. These roads aren't quite ready for highways. At least, not yet. Right now, plastic roads are mainly being used for cycling lanes and low traffic areas. A testbed for the material's future potential. The plastic road system is lightweight and modular, meaning it can easily be replaced or repaired if needed, and with a lower carbon footprint than traditional materials. These roads are also designed to drain water, preventing puddles and reducing flood risks, an important feature for climate resilience, especially in flood-prone areas. While they are still a work in progress for heavy-duty use, plastic roads are a prime example of how innovation can transform infrastructure and bring us closer to a circular future. What makes plastic roads unique is the idea of recycling at scale, taking the plastic waste we produce every day and turning it into something valuable, not just for the environment, but for our very daily lives. As the technology advances, the potential is massive. Soon we could see entire highways and cities built from recycled materials like this. Seeing how cities and companies are rethinking waste really reminded me of a project I was working on at school. We had to design a new lab for the university, but with one key challenge. It had to be as sustainable as possible. So, we started looking beyond just new material and found a company that harvests components from demolition sites, old windows, steel frames, insulations, doors, you name it. They'd repair it and store it, ready for reuse. But here's the trick. You never know exactly what you'll have. So we used something called parametric design, setting limits and rules based on sun exposure, strength, or insulation, to build a design that could adapt to whatever is available. It completely shifted my mindset. Designing for circularity isn't just about materials, it's about creating systems that are ready for change. The real power of the circular economy isn't just in reducing waste, it's in reprogramming how we think about designs, systems, and value. It's a mindset shift from linear to circular, from single use to multi-life, from end of life to new beginnings. And once you adopt this mindset, you start seeing loops everywhere. Coffee waste becomes skincare, denim scraps become home insulation, and even, as I am testing out in a project of mine right now, dredged materials from the canals might become the soil beneath our trees. It's not just recycling, it's rethinking the flow of resources entirely. And it's not just about materials, it's about systems. Systems that are regenerative by design, flexible enough to adapt. Circular solutions aren't built in silos. They thrive where industries connect, where cities talk to businesses, where engineers talk to farmers. That is where the next generation of innovation is taking place. Modular buildings, local repair economies, AI-driven waste tracking. Circularity is becoming the new standard for future-ready design. And the mindset behind it, it's simple. Everything is connected, and every material has more than one life if we design for it. Circular thinking isn't just a recycling trick. It's a mindset shift, one that sees waste as a design failure, and every material is part of a bigger story. And this shift, it's already rippling across industries. Architects are designing buildings that can be disassembled and reused. Urban planners are embedding reuse into the city infrastructure. Even policymakers are rewarding circular businesses over linear ones. And you don't need a government job to shape that future. As a designer, an engineer, an educator, a change maker, or just someone who cares, you influence how we build, buy, and think. So here's a thought experiment. Look around your work or your city. Find one thing that's usually thrown out. Now ask yourself, what would it take to give it a second life? That question alone can shift an entire system. Once you start seeing the world through this circular lens, it changes how you view designs, waste, and even opportunity. It's not just about being green, it's about being smart, adaptive, and future ready. If you're curious to learn more about how cities, companies, and communities around the world are already adapting, check out my playlist, Global Climate Adaptation and Sustainability Case Studies. It's packed with real-world examples, like the ones we explored today. I'd also love to hear from you. What's one circular idea or reuse concept you have seen or would love to see in your city or industry? Let's get a conversation going in the comments. Remember, together we can engineer a sustainable tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.